got the glutes, I got the calves, I got the abs. I got the glutes, I got the calves, I got the abs. It's time to get lit, it's time to get fit. Let's meal prep and get it in, get it in. Get rich by Tina. Transformation, freedom, and innermost heaven. Let's hit the gym and get fit, get fit. Get rich by Tina. Get rich by Tina, by Tina. Get rich by Tina. Get rich by Tina, by Tina.
Well, hello, TikTok land, Facebook, YouTube, all those good peoples. Good evening. This is Tina with Enriched by Tina, here to help you get your whole life together. It's been a minute since I've been on, and I decided, you know what? Get on back in here, girl. Get on back in here and talk to your people. I can't see who's here. Hey, what's going on, Secretary? Look, I'm glad you're here. I am live here in Living Color. I'm on Facebook. I am on TikTok. Hold on, somebody was asking me a question. I'm on TikTok and Facebook. So come on in and tune in with Enriched by Tina. And so listen, I want to welcome you back to my channel to let you come back in and see what we're going to be talking about this week. So in this video this week, it's going to be super exciting for me. It's a topic that's near and dear to me. Hello, hey, K Ryan over there in the TikTok land. I'm over here on Facebook as well, so I'm going live in 2 places. I'm being adventurous tonight. So listen, I want to talk to you about something that's kind of near and dear to me, and it's kind of important. Binge eating. So you like binge eating? Yes. So don't worry about we have some awesome things that we want to let you in on, some awesome solutions to things to help you make a big difference in your life. So guess what? Let's jump right into the topic at hand. So binge eating is kind of tough. If you agree with that, put a 1 in the chat. Do you think binge eating is kind of tough? Put a 1 in the chat for me. Let me know if I'm talking to the right people. Yes, please. Yeah, invite some people in. Share this broadcast. Let them know we're live in 2 places with the Tickety Talk as well as on Facebook. So yes, invite your friends. Tell a friend of a friend. So back to the solution, to the problem at hand. We know that binge eating can be very, very tough. And so I see it in the chat with you all saying, yes, you agree with me. And you say binge eating, just in case if you don't know what it is. It's when you eat a whole bunch of food all at once, even if you're not really hungry. And then it leaves you feeling really, really bad, really, really guilty. And then you left there to deal with what? This baggage. I see you, Linda. Yes, it leaves you with this baggage. Do you all agree? And put it in the chat if you have ever binge eat before. If you ever binge eating before. And I'm gonna raise my hand. So say yes or let me know in the chat if you ever binge eat. And I'm gonna, while you all are getting yourself and tuning in and inviting some friends, I'm gonna let you in on a little story here. So I did this weekend, and yes, I'm not too proud about it, because I know better. And so I thought, yes, this is going to fall right in with this week's discussion, because I have been torn with it and I've been going back and forth and getting it, back and forth about, was I going to talk about it? Because it is something that I did this weekend with sweets. I had no business eating those cakes. And so The definition of binge eating is when you eat a whole bunch of food all at once, even if you're really not hungry, and you just eat uncontrollably. And that's what I did when it came to, hey, what's going on, Raymond? What's going on? That's what I did this weekend. I had no business eating those cupcakes. And I ate them. And I ate two more. And then I ate another two. To the next thing I know, I had eaten a whole box. And I know better. But guess what? You find yourself in those types of things. And for me, if I get, you say, oh, you're hungry. What you going to learn tonight? Well, you're going to learn tonight that when you're hungry, then you just eat when you're hungry. But this binge eating is when you eat and you are not hungry at all. You're just eating just to be eating, just to be mindlessly eating. You have no business doing any of that. And that's what happened to me with those cupcakes, because I have now become to grips with it to know that I've been known to be a sweet person. I like cookie cakes and pies. So that's not my, okay, cool. Eat your baked fish, Raymond. That's right. Eat the baked fish. And it's good. Eat it. It's healthy. It's baked. It doesn't have all those minerals. But this binge eating thing, like I said, I kept playing around with it, whether I was even going to talk about it. But because I fell prey to this. And so I didn't really want to talk about it. But sometimes you have to, in order to get ahead of some things, you have to recognize where you are. And so when you think about those things, imagine this. You're sitting in front of the TV, and then you start snacking on some chips. And before you know it, you have eaten the whole bag of chips. And it happens to a lot of us. I'm gonna do this, and I'm trying to remember. Hello? I done hit the wrong. Hello? Hi, how are you? Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. I'm up here talking about healthy eating. Is that something that you're interested in? Have you ever ate anything? So you eat Pringles. So have you decided, have you been eating a lot of it? And then you ate too much? Well, that's what we're talking about tonight. Yes. Say that again. He's getting, say that one more time. No, I can't hear you. I didn't hear what you said. Hold on for just a sec for Facebook. I got something going over here on the TikTok, and I'm trying to figure it out. Because I hit the wrong button. Okay, I had something crazy going on over there on TikTok, so I'm gonna have to go back and come back. So y'all forgive me for just a second, because I had hit one button and I didn't know who they were, and they kind of got on my live over there. But y'all go hold tight for just a second. Anyway, I'm gonna go back over here to who over here in TikTok over here, and somehow I hit the wrong button and got somebody else, but I'm back. Okay, so let's go back. Imagine you sitting in front of the TV and you are snacking on some chips, and then you keep snacking and you keep snacking and keep snacking until guess what? You have eaten the whole bag of chips. And so that is what you call binge eating. So when you think about this and you continue to do the same thing over and over and over, then you find yourself out of control. Have this ever happened to you? Put a one in the chat. Okay. So listen, I want to talk about fixing this problem because like I told you, I'm not proud about it, but I am very transparent and I don't like to um tell you something that I'm not, dealing and struggling with. I like to be upfront and honest. So this is something that I struggle with this weekend. I normally don't eat a whole bunch of sweets, but I got that one cupcake, and the cupcake became two cupcakes, became three cupcakes. And I realized that I had begun to just binge because I wasn't hungry. I just ate it because it was there. And so when you find yourself getting in those situations, this video will help you um, get out of your own way and get unstuck and get into the right mindset when it comes to binge eating. So let's talk about it. I'm going to give you 5 solutions to kind of help you with this breaking this cycle of binge eating. So, number 1, and this is mindful eating. Mindful. So you say, what do you mean about that? So instead of you um just eating to just be mindful about what you're doing. Don't just sit and eat and keep eating without thinking what you're doing. And that's what I did this weekend. I ate one cupcake. Hey, Christina, good to see you here. I was over there on the tickety top, hit the wrong button. So I got to figure out how to get some moderators and some people to help me over there because people over there, they're a little different out over there on the tickety top. So we're talking about, for those of you that's coming in, we're talking about overcoming the binge eating and how the mindset can help you break this cycle. Okay, thanks, Tanya. We'll talk about it. I'll call you after this live, and then we can kind of play with it, and you can help me be a model there on the tickety top because I need to be able to people when people get and do stuff, and I hit the wrong buttons, then that will help me over there. So thank you so much, thank you so much, Secretary. So listen, that mindful eating is instead of just munching and munching and munching and eating without thinking, is that you have a clear mindset on what you're doing. That means paying close attention to what you're eating. Savor every bite. Think about your bite. Imagining the taste and how it feels, and get all in it. Get put all your five senses in it. And if you sit and be present, which is something that I am learning to do, is to sit, be present, be calm, be in the now, and be settled. Because when you're always on the go and you're always thinking and you're always moving, you're not necessarily being mindful of what you're doing or what you're thinking, what you're saying, or any of these things. So mindful eating is one of the key components to helping you stay focused and not get into binge eating. So number 2, recognize your triggers. And I'm going to pause right there because I have been triggered this past weekend. And I got triggered last Sunday, the 23rd, was the 1-year anniversary of my dad's death. And I should have kept it in the forefront, but I didn't. Then I went to 2 different funerals on top of it being the anniversary week of my dad's death. So therefore, my emotions was already revved up. So my dad's anniversary of my dad's death, which is an emotional thing for me, and I get to binge eating when I am emotionally stressed or going through some emotions, and I was not on top of it. So therefore, I got triggered, and therefore I ate the whole box of cupcakes because I wasn't mindful. I didn't get ahead of it and knowing it. I knew what week it was, and I should have given myself a moment to bask in the fact that, okay, this is the 1-year anniversary. You been to a funeral. Uh-oh. A top, y'all. I am losing a little weight, y'all, because my top is a little too big. And I don't want to expose myself over here. So let me get myself together here. So that triggered me, which caused me to eat that whole cupcake box. And not just one. My friend bought me 2 boxes. And I said, you shouldn't have done this because this is my weakness. This is something that I don't need to have. And I started to leave the other box at her house. She said, no, I don't need it here, because she had bought herself like 6 or 7 boxes. So guess what? I took it. She said, well, give it to Kendra, give it to Blake, give it to somebody. Well, I got that box of cupcakes here. Told my son about it. Okay, so Christina and Tanya, I see you. You all get caught up in the emotional. Yes. And when I tell you this emotional eating and the triggers, you gotta stay on top of it. So yes, I was triggered, and I should have backed off, but I was triggered. And so when you think about certain things and certain feelings and how do you feel that make you want to binge eat? Me, if I get stressed or if I'm in my emotions or I get to feeling sad, I don't just eat to be bored. But if I am feeling a certain way, I will, if I'm feeling sad, that comforts me. So, and I know this. And when I'm stressed, I know this. So you need to try to figure out what triggers you, what brings you to those binge moments. And once you know it, Tina Blackman, I'm talking to myself tonight. Hey, Charlene, um, figure out a plan to keep you from going into the boredom of it. I got to figure it out how to best channel it when I know I'm triggered and when I know that I have some stuff going on. I got to come up with me a plan to be able to counteract when I'm triggered. Has that ever happened to any of you? What are some tactics can you do or have you done? Yes, you said you ate the whole container of croissants. Hey, Charlene, what's going on, Charlene? Um, what have y'all done? I know I'm gonna start getting on and putting on a tape. Once I start getting in my feelings, I'm going to put on some music and dance because dancing and music makes me happy. So I got to get out of that funk. So that's what I'm going to do. So some of you have told me this has happened to you. What is something you can do? What are you going to do? I want you to put it in the chat. You can go talk to a friend. You can do something fun. And like I said, I like to dance. So for me, when I start feeling myself getting in my emotions and getting in my feelings, I'm going to put on the song and I'm going to dance and I'm going to be silly. Because when I'm silly and I'm happy, then I can get myself out of that emotion rut. So triggers, that's number 2. So number 1, be mindful. Number 2, know your triggers. And number 3, small steps to big changes. Woo, that's a good one. Yes, you love to color and dance. That's good. That's good. So when you think about breaking a habit, woo, boy, do I know about those things. Because I've had several habits to break and several habits that I have overcome. So now I got to begin to do some of those strategies that I forgot about. Like doing something very, very small, like take a walk, do 10 minutes, get up every 10 minutes. Because sometimes when you sit a whole lot and then you got the stress of the job, what I would do every hour that I have been sitting, I would get up, take a walk, go up and down my hallway, walk around, get up, stretch, and do something to get my mind not to thinking about what stressed me out. Take a break from it. Do a little bit of it at a time. Like I'm starting back my exercise regimen. So I'm doing 3 days a week, at least 30 minutes. So listen, 3 days a week, 30 minutes. If 30 minutes is too much, I have done 3 segments of 10 minutes, but I still got my 30 minutes in. So I'm going to start taking those small steps. Maybe start by 1 lesson of binge eating session a week. Meaning, if I get stressed, instead of me just eating, give myself a minute to say, I'm going to have a little bit of this chips. Because chips, I don't go too bad. You know, sometimes you want that salt. Or make my dessert and then split it up and cut it in quarters and give myself a little piece of it. Give me the satisfaction. And then that way I don't feel like I just got to go over and eat one cake after another cake. Right now, I'm not going to bring any cakes and cookies in here. So what I have to help me with my sweet tooth, I have something called Lily's chocolate chips. They are little bitty chocolate chips. So what I do is I get me about 6 to 10 of them, and I mix them with some nuts. So when I want something sweet to keep me from going in there getting these cookies, these cakes that they have in this house right now, it's not a safe place for me. But I'm going to overcome this binge eating. I am. I'm not going to surrender into it because now I know that I'm in my feelings. Is I'm coming up. I'm gonna start very small. So guess what? I got me some chocolate chips. I'm going to eat them with my nuts to give me that chocolate, that sweet taste that I've been looking for. I have bought me some um, apples, which are sweet. And so that is what I'm going to do. And you're right, Derek. Seek some support. And I got some friends who are said, we got you. We're going to help you with this. We're going to call and check in on you. We see now that you over here getting in your feelings. And I had somebody say, well, who checks on you? And I said, to be honest, very few people call and check on me and say, how are you doing? Because they see me and I'm laughing and I'm happy-go-lucky, and they assume, hey, she's okay. She is managing the death not only of my father, but also my mother. So I've lost both of my parents. And that's huge. 5 years apart. You know, my mom died 5 years ago, but to get ready to be 6 years ago. No, there was 5 years. So when was it? 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So yeah, 5 years ago I lost my mom. 1 year ago I lost my dad. So those are the most two important people in your life to lose. And so when you think about some of the other things, I've lost my mother-in-law, I lost my teacher, I lost my pastor. I lost my pastor a week before I lost my dad. And she was not only like a pastor, she was a mother figure to me. She was a mentor. She taught me everything that I know about God. I mean, she took me under her wing and I traveled all over the world with her. So the anniversary of her death, the anniversary of my dad's death, and then I had a classmate to lose his daughter, although she had been sick. So all those things happened right around the same time that I'm still experiencing the loss of my father. And so I had to be careful. I know, okay, July is, woo. So now it's like you got May, June, and July that are months that I suffered some great loss in May, June, and July. And so now it's like, whoo, these 3 months, and in between those 3 months, you got Mother's Day and you got Father's Day. So I have to really, around this time of year, I got to really keep myself prayed up, keep myself with some accountability, and give me some accountability partners and some support, all of that and above. And so the person said, well, I will start checking on you more. I never assumed. And that's where you always say, you never assume that people are okay because you just don't know. So yes, no, don't start big, Tanya. Start very, very small. Because for me, when you start trying to do a whole bunch of stuff at one time, then you get overwhelmed. And then when you get overwhelmed, you stop. And when you stop, you start stressing. When you start stressing, you start eating. So start very small. Celebrate those small wins. Celebrate. And that was going to be, that's number 4. That lead me right into number 4. Celebrate. And when you celebrate with non-food wins. Because guess what? If you're struggling with your eating and with your eating habits, and then the one thing that you do, you say, let's go and out to eat. Well, that's a trigger for you. That's a trigger for me. That's if you're having problems with eating, that's the last thing you need to celebrate with is oh girl, let's go out and celebrate. Celebrate by taking a walk. Celebrate by talking about your victory. Celebrate by just embracing where you are. Go out and do a painting, or do a stroll in the park. Go to the movies, go read a book. Um, do some of those great things that do not require eating. Because if you're having problems with your weight and eating, and binge eating is an issue, the last thing you need to do is give yourself the food. We celebrate with food. Every time we want to get together, everybody says, let's get together over a meal. We never hear anybody say, let's get together over a walk, or over a book, or over a movie. And if we go to the movies with them, we're going to go out to eat. So we got to start thinking of some other ways to celebrate without trying to incorporate food. I mean, we can celebrate in so many ways that it will help us resist the urge to binge eat. It give yourself a pat on the back, toot your own horn, sound the alarm. I mean, do something that's fun. And going to the movies is a great way to do that. Playing your favorite game is another way to do that. Do something that is very, very beneficial to you other than celebrating it with food. Yes, Tanya, we sure can. And when we get off this live, we'll talk. So it brings me to my final one. Reach out for support. When you reach out for support, remember, you do not have to go through this journey alone. You can talk to your friends, you can talk to your family, you can even get a counselor to talk about whatever you're going to. They're there to listen, to help and support you. Don't try to go about this alone. Listen, I thank you guys for tuning in. So you guys remember that if you're going to be successful in this, that overeating binge is possible. But listen, to overcome this binge eating, and I'm pausing right here because I'm talking to myself and I'm trying not to get emotional as I'm talking. It's possible. And that's what I'm going to have to say to myself. When I get overwhelmed, when I get stressed, it's possible for me to not binge eat. It is so possible. But the way you think about this and the way that your mindset, it plays a very important role in how you overcome this. So be kind to yourself. Take it one step at a time. And guess what? Don't be afraid to reach out for help. You got this. We got this. So listen, if you find out that this video has been very helpful to you, give me a thumbs up. Share it. Tell some friends about it. And also let me know in the comments if you wanted more videos like this. And if you have not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, if you have not already followed me on TikTok or here on Facebook, subscribe to our channel. And if you really don't want to miss out on something, click that little bell. So you'll know that whenever we go live, that you will never, ever miss out on anything. So listen, identify your binge triggers. Discover some emotional cues that causes you these binge eating episodes. Recognize that stress, sadness, and boredom are some things that could trigger you. So reflect on your events. Seek help coping your strategies. Take your small steps and achieve a big change. Overcome binge eating gradually. You didn't get here overnight, and it's not going to change overnight. But reduce your binge sessions gradually Set yourself some achievable goals. And remember to celebrate those small victories. So thank you for tuning in with Enriched by Tina. And we'll be here next week as we continue to deal with mindset and eating. I'm going to give you some music on the way out the door. And thank you for tuning in for I don't know what happened. Something just went blanked out. But thank you for tuning in with Enriched by Tina, here to help you get your whole life together. And I'm going to give you some traveling music. And thank you for tuning in. Tina's tips here on this Good Tuesday evening. And I will see you next week.
Baby, now tell me exactly how you feel. I'm just trying to keep it real. Let me love you on the inside, love you on the inside. Tell me exactly what you mean. You